Hello guys and welcome to Capital Creative. This is where we talk about everything that is happening around money. We are going to talk about entertainment. We're going to talk about intriguing conversation, the stories that you've never heard before. This is one of one of a kind yenye unapata all the informative content. We have very knowledgeable guests ambao tutakuwa tunawaleta hapa. Tutakuwa naelezea a lot of different things concerning different pillars. And today to consider in the first episode, we are going to have talk about business. We are going to have kidogo tunaingia pale kwa biashara. We want to know how we are going to move in the tech world concerning business pia. So my guest today is none other than Emmanuel Charles. Emmanuel Charles ako hapa hivi ni a very creative guy, a very innovative person. Amefanya a very creative thing ya tunataka kusikia ni nini alifanya yenye imelida amekuja hapa hivi ndani ya Capital Creative. I'm your host Washington Odongo and this is Capital Creative. Straight to the point. Yeah, without so much ado, welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So tunataka kujua kwanza who is Emmanuel Charles. Emmanuel Charles amefanya vitu gani na what is this thing that is very unique about the business that you're doing?
Okay, so my name is Emmanuel Charles, and I'm currently in Maseno University, first year doing my bachelor in information technology. And basically Emmanuel Charles is a very innovative person. I crave to be among the most intelligent, business-oriented tech people that are out there. So today we are going to talk about Munchify. And even before we talk about Munchify, there are different other empires that I'm also building. So although like Munchify is going to be the talk of the day, I believe next time we can talk about the other ventures, the likes of Saizora and Edifra.
Nasikiza the names ambao inakuja hapo bana, is a very innovative guy. Mimi sikumbuki the last thing we talked about innovation, tukakumbuka these creative names ambao zinakam hapo hivyo. Umesikia ni a first year. So being a first year, you remember umeingia kwa this new environment. What really inspired you to come up with Munchify and what is the science behind Munchify?
So technically, when nilingia in Maseno, the first thing that I was thinking ni what business am I going to put in place in Maseno. So even before I got into this school, my initial idea was what if I create, let's say, a cyber. And I contacted one of my friends who is a third year here. Akanishow, unaweza fungua cyber but cyber nyingi zimejaa. And so chenye nikamua ni like, let me first nifike Maseno and then see what potential or what gap is there for me to fill. So in SEM 1, when nilingia Maseno, there were different ideas that nilikuwa nayo, but the one in which ilingia somewhat of a problem ni when a friend of mine was telling me that akona idea fulani but ajui kama inaweza work. Alikuwa anasema ati one day ni msee wa Nairobi, msee wa jiji sana. So venye alifika huko alikuwa anadhani like anaweza order food kutokea Glovo hivi, alafu imfikia hapa.
Kuja mpaka Maseno.
Fika hadi Maseno. Sasa akajaribu akaona ati Glovo ifikangi huko. Akajaribu Bolt, akajaribu Uber Eats. Alafu day moja akaniuliza like what if kukwange na Glovo ya Maseno. And that's when the idea began.
Very intriguing. That is a very informative way yenye mlikam up na this Munchify. So Munchify unataka kutuambia ilikuwa idea out of something yenye mtu alikuwa amelack.
Yeah.
So what really inspired you, because unajua kuna ule msee anaweza taka kuanzisha this thing but ana hiyo the capacity ya kuanzisha, maybe they don't have the technique, the proper equipments. What really inspired you to that point ukasema I have this and I can start it?
The idea behind Munchify ni ile nye after nilifika huku and after the idea of building a Glovo ya Maseno you can hit, I started talking around with people about this idea. most of them alikuwa ananiambia ati inaweza make but ni ngumu kuifikiria because haijailetwa Maseno. And I met more than 4 people wenye like they showed me like they had this idea. One of them actually alinionyesha app yake yenye alitengeneza for this.
Akiwa Maseno.
Akiwa Maseno. I believe sai is a 4th year. Alinionyesha his app akaniambia like this is his alikuwa nayo, alafu the thing yenye alimiss ni people. Another the people like to run this whole stuff. Another one aliniambia he has the people but he misses the tech. They don't know how to begin this. So before even Munchify came, niliona like there are some versions of Munchify yenye zilianzanga. Those people when you give them an order through WhatsApp alafu wanakufikishia. There was a lot of that in Maseno. Different hotels at this side they have this call for orders. And that was a system that was in a traditional manner.
It was already there.
Yeah, it was already there. So after doing my research nikaona like basi au wengine wameniambia there are 4. Imagine meeting 1 2 3 4 and then alafu nakushow like walijaribu wakaifikiria but hawajatengeneza. Never materialized. So ndio nikakaa chini nikasema what if I tried? So the first thing yenye nakwanga muhimu sana ni the data. To know views za wase kawa like wataitumia ama wataitumia. So the whole of sem 1 ilikuwa using just data. Like surveys, kuuliza wase mnaweza tumia stuff, and the data was so positive. And still bado kulikuwa na doubts. That's when sem 1 the idea was there. Alafu temporarily nikasema I believe I'm not going to build it. Because although like watu wanaipenda, ilikuwa na this thing that it's going to take a lot before even building a system or a framework around it. So up of first sem after kujipia that hype ya fresha nataka kujenga kitu kali hivi, literally the idea died kabisa. By the holiday, the November December holiday, the idea was no more.
Now let me just take you back to where sasa tulipata this idea that there are other people pia they have been having this idea, others have even tried. What made you think that you'd stand out in this same space ya business yenye inahitaji tech, inahitaji a lot of manpower, venye umesema others lacked labor? What made you think that hii nikijaribu I might stand out?
I did not have that confidence. I only had the tech to back me up. When fast forward to this sem 2, when the idea began sasa to materialize, hapo ndio nilijua like there's a difference having a tech background and having an operations background. So nilibonga na one of my friends, alafu tulibonga naye like a co-founder. Tulibonga like me nitakuwa in charge of the tech, he will be in charge of the operations. So whatever the other guys walikuwa na miss, moja alikuwa na miss the tech, mwingine na miss the operations. Venye nilibonga na this person nikamwambia I want this to be co-founded, and he will be in charge of the operations, I'll be in charge of the tech. I saw the potential of it working. But a lot of stuff happened. The co-founder aliniruka. Alisema ni kazi ni yeah, there was a lot of beef. Alikuwa anasema kazi ni ngumu. And mwishowe like akatoka. So I'm there hapo. We created the first prototype ya Munchify. And mi niko hapo with that tech, and nobody is backing up with the operations, the marketing. Niko hapo kisolo. So and then I reached to some small friends of mine. Kaambia nataka tu nishikilie this, nifanye to this, nifanye to that. And then on January 25th, that was the first day that we launched Munchify.
Okay. Now, unasema this co-founder alikutoka. How does it feel? Unajua by the way, unapata msea kiacha kitu kai alafu inakuja ina hit. Kuna ile anaweza kuambia, man, sasa unajua tulikuwa tumeanza na yeye nataka kurudi. Has he ever come back to say sasa because we had the same idea and now it's flourishing, I want to work with you?
Yes, wanataka kurudi. Fast forward to say wanataka kurudi. Wananipigia wananiambia like, man, najua niliku upset hivi na hivi. Yeah, they regret. And Munchify imeona a lot of faces coming in and going. So inakwanga people take time before even they realize team. And that team, it reached a point yenye waliona venye inaanza it's tricky because starting something from 0 to 1 is different from 1 to 2.
Yeah.
So waliona venye ilianza it was tricky and they didn't see the bigger vision. So sai temenye we are improving everything, they want the slice of the pie back. Yeah.
And what is your reaction to that? Do you allow them back, ama what has been the answer to that?
To me, naona like if there was a reason enye alitoka Munchify, I believe that reason needs to stick because akirudi, it will not be as fully done venye alikuwa initially.
Yeah.
So when somebody leave Munchify, I know the only thing he can support us is through ordering food, but not coming back to the
So
team.
akuje tu anunue food.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that is a very nice thing to do because you can find some people mtu anakuja tu hapo to joyride. Yeah, now I'd like to know pia kuna some of our viewers who might like to know what is the criteria that you use to get this labor
To acquire them. I believe what I've come to learn ni when you are getting people, you can pick anybody, any random person. The difference between hiring somebody who is skilled and hiring somebody who is just there. For us, venye tulikuwa tuna hire people and how we are continuously hiring people, we tell the people the truth. We tell them that this is Munchify, and behind the scene it's not clean. And we are going to shape you venye we want us to run Munchify.
Okay, before you continue, let me just cut you a bit. Umesema behind the scene kidogo it's not clean. What do you mean by that? Unajua mtu mwingine anasema kuna some sketchy business.
When I'm saying behind the scenes is not clean, namaanisha like when ukiingia kwa the website at munchify.co.ke and then you order food, the process is seamless. When unaingia, you order food, you pick your food, you go to checkout, alafu you place the order. For the customer, it's seamless. But when you go back to the back end of it all, it's somehow tricky. Because when a customer is making an order, they feel like they are the only ones ordering at that time. And utapata, we have days in which we do more than 100 deliveries. So utapata, during a time frame of 10 minutes, we have already done 20 orders. So when a customer places an order, we need to assign a delivery guy to that customer. And these delivery guys, even as we are expanding, we are still having a small shortage. And we are continuously hiring people. And people wanafanya kazi, alafu tena bado wanatoka. So it's not easy. So when in the back end, there is a lot that is done. There is a lot of stuff that needs to be put in place. Even yesterday, there was a lot that was happening in the back scenes. We have had days in which we process a lot of orders, but when you're kwa ground, ni wawili watatu. So napata what we strive, like there are these values in which people want to perceive Munchifyers. And I believe there are some certain values that tutawaambia, like we are going to have the fastest delivery, but sometimes we don't like lying to the customers. We'll tell them that Munchify is growing to be a brand, and what we can assure them is a reliable delivery. Once you place an order, the behind the scenes, you are assigned somebody, and that person is designated to your order. So utazapata one delivery guy is doing 10 orders at a time. Although it will take time before it reaches there, but we are assuring our clients that it will reach.
Now, having this type of laborers that you are disseminating to different places, what is the highest number that you've ever had for deliveries in a day?
In a day?
Yeah.
I believe there was a day we crossed 110 orders a day. And looking back at the analytics, from January till now, we have done close to 2,500 orders.
2,500.
Yes.
Hey.
So the team is expanding drastically.
And how many are the workers at Munchify? Maybe if you can give us a rough number of the students that are working with you, maybe.
Okay, so a day ago, I was telling somebody there's a difference between running a business and a company. A business can have 2 to 3 employees, but a company needs a lot of structure. So the number of employees that we have is around between 20 to 30 around there. Knowing that we have people who are managing the website, making sure that the servers are nice and they are on time and everything is running. We have the delivery guys. That is the biggest number that we have. Say we have more than 10 people there. We have people who are doing the finances, people who are in charge of making sure pesa imeingia pale inaingia, people are being paid, the vendors are being paid on time, the delivery guys and everybody has something in their pocket. And then we also have a marketing team that is doing a good work, and we are improving the marketing day by day also. So if you sum out our Tuote, the team is around 25 plus people.
Over 25 people.
Yeah.
Now, how do you manage when it comes to having to deliver food? If you can talk about Munchify, it's an app, right?
Yes.
Yeah, now we have these people who are now the vendors who are giving you the food. How did you manage to convince them that you can do this?
Okay, so what tuliambia the vendors ni we have this idea. And actually before even we integrate a vendor, we tell them that the first week we are just testing it out from them. So we tested each vendor, karibu all the hotels that are around Maseno for 1 full week. The deliveries are on us, and also like we don't get a percentage commission for the first week. So they give us the week, we put their orders, people come, the delivery guys are known by the vendors, so they have unique IDs. So wakifika hapo, alafu after a week, as they process the orders, we make sure that the marketing is on toes, making sure that the customers anajua this hotel sasa iko integrated with it. After a week of assessing sasa how the orders have been, sasa is when we sit down in terms of business perspective, and we tell the vendors we have seen this number of orders, and because Munchify is not reducing the number of customers that are coming in the host. If you have 100 customers kwa duka yako in your hotel, Munchify does not reduce that number from 100 to 80 alafu 20 order. It is 100 and Munchify brings 50 more. So we need a slice of that pie also. So they give us a certain percentage cut also for the number of deliveries that we do for them.
Now, how do you manage running a business at the same time you're a student? What are some of the challenges that you have been facing as we wind up?
I believe it's time. Yeah, time is still the biggest thing that people face. And even though like I take IT and tech is the business, time also is something that is crucial for us. But for also, because of that time also, we have been able to restructure our system better. We have been able to automate most of the orders and deliveries. Right now, I believe there are still orders that are coming, but it is structured in a certain way that the system always works with or without my intervention. And people have the designated times in which they work and which they don't work. And I can tell you the biggest factor and the biggest thing that we are always improving is the system. And the system is directly proportional to the time that you're facing. Yeah.
Now, as we wind up, let me just brush a bit to the expenses that you took when you're talking about the capital that you used to set up your business. What can be the rough estimate that you used to come up with Munchify?
The rough estimate?
Yeah.
Okay, sijai kaa chini kuangalia the rough estimate in which Munchify imechukua, but we started from nothing, like totally nothing. It was my savings, other people chipped in, because we didn't have any venture capital fund. We didn't have any grants. We didn't even have any investors. What we just had was the idea,
the idea
and
itself.
the vision. So we started from scratch. Most of the money was just, I did this, I want to have this project. And I'm sure like when you have no money and uchukwe a loan from that money, it motivates you to make more money so that you pay this and you also have yours. So for the rough estimate, I can tell you we began from scratch, and where we are at now, without giving you the proper figures, I believe Munchify is ranging there 5 to 6 figures.
5 to 6 figures.
As early as it is right now.
So it is a great investment.
It is a great investment.
Do you feel at some point that this thing will blow up, or at times you feel like you regret starting Munchify? What is the feeling behind it when you think about Munchify? In the next 2 to 3 years, where do you see it?
I feel Munchify will be the Kenya University brand, the cultural brand lifestyle for the whole of universities around Kenya. Because Munchify, we are not all about just delivering food. We're also a cultural lifestyle. It's a lifestyle having your food being delivered to you. We are having events as our planners wanaendelea kutengeneza events, and these events are catered for the university life. We are building more than just a delivery system. We are building a brand, something that other universities will envy, and I believe Maseno should not take it for granted.
Well, if I may ask, what were some of the things that maybe your vision, ilikuwa vision yako while you are starting Munchify, and in the next 2 to 3 years, maybe what are we expecting Munchify to have covered?
I believe the plan on the ground is to first capture Maseno University, and to make sure like this university has adopted Munchify as its cultural lifestyle. And once this is there, we are going to it instantly creates a FOMO, fear of missing out. So I believe expanding to other universities is our bigger dream, because after Maseno we are believing we want to take ZTech, KU, we go to Kisii universities, so that Munchify becomes something that these other bigger corporates have never achieved, creating a sense of a community in tech and business.
Okay, let me just cut you short. You mentioned earlier that you also have other projects. Are they related to Munchify, or they're different?
They are different, but somehow they interrelate, all of them. If I can give you a glance, we have Edifra. Edifra is an AI-powered education system.
Sure.
And in short, it uses something known as the hive mind revolution to use algorithmical features in order to group students in terms of their weakness and strengths, and leveraging AI as creating study paths and learning behaviors tailored to how a student learns. So if you tell me how Munchify is going to relate with the Edifra, for the direct integration, it's nearly impossible. But if you think outside the box, once somebody goes into Edifra and studies, Munchify can be there as their study partner in terms of wakisikia njaa, and they want to eat and they still want to use Edifra.
Okay.
And Sizora is we're also creating a tech community, a media tech community also. So the achievements of Edifra and Munchify, they will always be showcased as Sizora, because Sizora was the first name I ever thought about, and it's something that is going to hold its name of creating these other companies also.
Okay. Now, you've mentioned these names, and they're actually making me feel intrigued. And I wonder, how do you come up with these names? Are they something that you just wake up and you say, this is something that I want to call it, and you just name it?
Okay, so mi nakuanga na so obsessed kwanza na when I'm thinking of something, I'm thinking of an idea, the first thing that inaingia kwa akili yangu ni the name. the name should not be these generic names, because Munchify itself was supposed to be named Maseno Eats. And nilikuwa nafikiria like Maseno Eats, yes, it's a good name, but it's not a scalable name. We want a name that can invoke like also feelings. And behind every name is also a story.
Sure.
Munchify, the word munch is from eating.
Yeah.
Edifra, the name Edifra comes from, the first word is ed, which is education, and fra is for framework.
Oh, okay.
So we are building an educational framework. Edifra. Saizora, the word sai means cyber, means dealing with the tech world. And aura means just having that.
Okay, maybe if as we wind up, maybe if you would have a question, you have any suggestion to maybe investors, people who would want to invest to Munchify, what is something that you'd want them to have in mind?
Okay, the first thing, ni among all the companies that, among all the ideas niko nayo, I feel after doing proper research, they're the first in Africa. So I believe it's high time also, us as Africans and as Kenyans, we take the opportunity of fostering something that is grown within us.
Yes, sure.
Munchify has the potential of growing because among all the food delivery apps that are out there, this one is tailored for a specific niche, and we have all the data and the analytics that are there, and they tell us that it's growing and it shall grow. So for me, even as we continue moving forward, having investors who are always going to give us an advisory edge and a financial edge is going to be instrumental for my growth and also Munchify's growth and success.
Okay, maybe if I can ask as the last question, who is your competitor as Munchify or as an entrepreneur?
Our competitors at Munchify, they're in three categories. Kwanza, they're the big established food delivery guys that are out there, the likes of Glovo, Uber Eats, because they have not yet penetrated into the comrades lifestyle, and they have all the resources to do that. So they are the first competitors, and I believe the first thing that we need to solidify ourselves as Munchify is not being any other food delivery, but creating a brand, creating a community that people will feel like it's inevitable to live. The second competitors is the second delivery that is here in Maseno already. We already have a competitor, and it's a healthy competition because they saw that Munchify is working.
Yeah, sure.
And they have tried them themselves, and they're also seeing their own success. I believe we need to solidify ourselves as Munchify also, having that edge that we are better than them in terms of how we retain our customers and how we deliver our services. And the last and I think the most scariest competitor is the unknown, because rumors has it that somebody is coming. By the next semester, some people have told me that there's something big that is coming, and it has the potential of rampaging Munchify out of the picture. But we are ready. We are better than ready.
It is a tough battlefield.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you so much. We are very glad to have you here. And maybe if you can have the last message to maybe the comrade who is having these dreams or ambitions to become an entrepreneur, you can just use that camera right there.
Okay, to the comrade who is beginning an idea, I can tell them start ugly, launch fast, and rectify faster. Because there's a difference still of having an idea and actually actualizing the idea. Because Munchify, on how it began with an idea, and right now we are someplace that I believe people are destined to be. So even as we are continuing rectifying ourselves and being better, that comrade out there, kwambia we pia jaribu yako iko pia. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Emmanuel Charles, the CEO Munchify. We've come to the end of our show today. It has been a very, very informative session that we've had right here at Capital Creative Show. And as you can see, it is something that you really need to binge on it, because there's a lot of information and a lot of knowledge being oozed out here. So see you next time. We'll be talking a lot more. You can just subscribe to our YouTube channel, that is Capital Creative. That is the Capital Creative headquarters. I have my team here. Is a very competitive team ya production hapa hivi, waliamka mapema. Kuna kina Sufufu, Moreno, Abram, Roy, and we have a DOP, that is Jemo, and we are very grateful. Our space here has been Maseno TV, and we are very grateful again. I've been your host, Washington Odongo. See you next time with another intriguing conversation. Goodbye.